Today on Moonstar, a Sailor Moon podcast. Queen Beryl has this dark purple lipstick that I absolutely love. And this behavior that the clocks are making people exhibit is very similar to that type of behavior. Welcome back to Moonstar, a Sailor Moon podcast. We would like to apologize for being a little bit late this week, but we hope you can forgive us. We did have company in town for our birthday. That is why we are not on time this week. But if anyone was bummed missing out on Monday, you are getting it today, a couple days late. We're sorry, but we still love you. We're still here. Don't worry. I hope you were not scared. Moonstar, a Sailor Moon podcast, hasn't gone anywhere. So glad you're still listening. Happy birthday to us. We are also officially on our 2-month mark, so happy 2-month birthday to the podcast. And let's keep going into the announcements right away. The first thing we want to talk about today is the Super Moon Fighter Let's Play series that's currently available on our YouTube. We touched on the game a little bit last time. Now the complete maximum difficulty clears are up for every single character. You can watch from Eternal Sailor Moon, Super Sailor Chibi Moon, all the way through Black Lady, who is included in this specific game. And those are now all up on our YouTube with a playlist. So feel free to check those out. If you subscribe to our Instagram, there's a link on there too with some pictures and stuff. Also, we are goofy and completely forgot to include the Sailor Uranus video for some reason on the playlist. So for the first couple of days, it was missing out on views. If you look at all of them, you can see that Sailor Uranus is way behind everybody else. Just, give her some love, because that was our fault. So go check out Sailor Uranus, give her a few extra views, and then, watch what else you want to watch. And those are really fun for us to make, and going ahead, we're going to be doing the Survival series next, which is a harder version than just the main story mode, game mode of that, the Super Moon Fighter DX games, where you don't get any continues, you get only one life. There's not double rounds, it's one round, and if you die, you die. So those are going to be starting to appear soon, and we're going to make them a little bit more than just a basic watch me play this game. We're going to try to include some fun graphics with it to help, enhance the experience a little bit. Chris Mayek will be returning for next week's episode, An Uncharmed Life, so we are very excited to be having him back on the podcast. Just wanted to make that announcement here so you guys can make sure to tune in and check out that. The interviews, last time we split it up into 2 pieces because it was quite long, and trying to include that with everything else would have made the podcast about an hour and a half. That is a little much. We'll probably do something similar with this. I don't know, it depends. We'll see, you guys get to, this is the first, we're still in the beginning here, so we're learning together. But look forward to Chris Mayek next week. In the interview I did with him, I was kind of glancing around at the comments there, and I did notice one person mentioned they thought it was a little strange that I wasn't ready to show my face just yet online and in association with these projects and everything. And I thought about it for a minute, and Chris stepped in, and I didn't say anything, and he was very kind and, basically said that everybody has their own choice in why they do that, and that's their business, and he's absolutely right, and he didn't even have to say anything, so I do very much appreciate him saying that. But I do think it is kind of a fair knee-jerk reaction, like, oh, why don't you want to show your face? So just in fairness and in an attempt to get to know you guys better, I'm going to tell you just a little bit more about me. My name is Alex. I am gender fluid. I'm also an educator, as I've mentioned a few times. I'm in my 30s. I think I've said that too. Sometimes I struggle with things like social anxiety, and especially feeling safe online, just due to some past experiences I've had. And those are personal and my business, as he said. And eventually I would like to be able to share my face with everybody here, and I think I will. But I'm also in a transitional period in my life, and I'm not 100% happy with I'll say, my presentation at the moment, I suppose. So until more dust settles around things like my gender identity and some of the experiences I had recently for my own personal comfort level, and also partially my own safety, but more so my own comfort, at this time I'm choosing not to share my face. But that's really all it is. And I don't really blame people for being curious about it. I would be curious about it. So I hope if someone who's listening was wondering, that answers some of your questions. And I actually really look forward to being able to be that open and that comfortable with you guys. And, you know, it's a journey, right? I don't need to start out at 100. I get to go at my own pace because this is my content that I am creating. And that's the beauty of being a content creator, really, is you control how much you put out, how you frame it, all of that stuff, right? You're in the driver's seat. That's, I think, why a lot of people like doing it. Okay. I had a couple other notes here, just things to share about myself with you guys. And one of them was just that food is my weakness. I love eating, and specifically, I love Southern cooking. So any of the classic Southern restaurants, if you are from the South, you know which ones I'm talking about. There is Waffle House, Cracker Barrel. I'm not talking high-end. I'm talking down in the dirt. Like, the staff is so friendly. It's almost sweeter than the food, which is also covered in syrup. And you know, that is my jam. And I have to be careful because if I'm not, I will overindulge. So that is sort of... just to share with you guys, that's what I did over my birthday week was I got to go to a couple of my favorite restaurants with some great people. So I had a great time, and I got to eat some really tasty food. I got some cute gifts, and it was a great birthday for me. Definitely better than I've had in the past couple years, so I'm very happy with it. That's enough about me, though. This podcast is not supposed to be about me. This podcast is about Sailor Moon and us sharing our love for it. So let's get on ahead. What to expect from us, that is Sunshine Farm Entertainment as a whole, in July. Obviously, more weekly episodes of Moonstar. None of the other ones should be off kilter as far as the schedule goes. This was a special moment, kind of, and, you know, things happened as they happened. But from now on, we should be strictly back on Mondays. Definitely, you will be seeing another guest spot from Chris Mayak. He will be returning in a couple of weeks. Also, we will be launching our sister podcast, Cute Card, a card captor podcast. This one we are hoping to get out during July. What we would like to do is now that we have sort of a handle on how to do things and all of that, we want to be a little bit more thoughtful with how we drop this one, so we might get a couple episodes, quote, in the can before we hit the button and release it to you guys. But just so you know, that is on the horizons. If you are Card Captor Sakura fans, expect a similar formatted podcast from Sunshine Farm Entertainment focusing on that series coming soon. And on the YouTube channel, we're going to be having a lot more Sailor Moon related gaming content, as well as Card Captor gaming content, and all of that kind of stuff. Ugh. Sorry, I lost it. Okay. Oh yeah, and at least one more episode of Sailor Moon Another Story dubbed, and Sailor Moon Another Story, the series, which is the podcast version of Sailor Moon Another Story dubbed. They are sort of different. So if you like one, you'll like the other. That's what's on the docket for July. That's our current plan. And part of us telling you about it here is to help us hold ourselves accountable and make sure it happens for y'all. So I think that's it for the announcements. We've taken up about 10 minutes of your lives. I think that's plenty. So let's get started on the walkthrough. I always call it a walkthrough. My mind is on games right now. Ugh. Let's get started with the watch through. And today's episode, just to remind you again, is called TimeBomb. And this is the Deke dubbed version of Sailor Moon. Hit it! Just a quick mention, because I was on, I can't remember which forum, is either Sailor Moon forums or the anime forums recently, discussing Sailor Moon, of course. And we were talking, it might have been a YouTube comment. We were talking about how the little Star Wars-esque lettering in the intro got dropped pretty quickly. And I'm curious because I'm paying attention. It's still in it here on the VHS release where we're currently on the episode TimeBomb. So 6 episodes deep into the Deke version of the dub. And they still have it. I'm going to try to catch when it gets dropped. But I'm not sure exactly when that will happen. Also, another note. They use her Sailor Moon R transformation, Moon Crystal Power, in the first season intro for Deke, which was kind of a choice. They don't use the part where she's all sparkly, but they show the end of it, instead of the season one, which is kind of weird. Queen Beryl has this dark purple lipstick that I absolutely love on her. I never really noticed it before because there are limited animations of her. She's usually just sitting behind this ball which covers her mouth, but we got some good mouth animation from her in this one. They're all mad because Sailor Mercury appeared. I mean, you better be scared. Her and Amy shopping together is quite cute. Then we went to a bookshop at Amy's insistence, of course. Serena's gonna rot her brains on these comics. I love it. Serena goes, so my alarm clock, let's go to this clock store, my alarm clock's broken. And Amy goes, so I've heard. Amy's such a casual read on Serena that goes completely unaddressed here. In today's culture, people would be like, whoa, I'm sorry, that was great. It just slid in there. I think the person who's voicing this, bad lady, I don't know what to call her, she's the human version of the Yoma. I think she did several of them, and she has a very, deep, raspy tone to her voice. It reminds me a little bit of the English adaptation of Spirited Away, the character Yubaba and Zeniba. Also, just a fun fact, that voice actress on Will and Grace plays Karen's mother. So if you would like to see who voiced them, look up the episodes that feature Karen Walker's mother on Will and Grace, and you'll see how fabulous she was. And her character on that show is a boozy opportunist that uses her rich daughter to scam dudes. She's a scam artist. So, I mean, sort of similar to Yubaba, I guess. Her mom got her this alarm clock being oh, hopefully this will help you not suck at life and get to school on time. Rude. Luna is so mad because she's this clock looks nothing like me. And everyone's it looks just like you. It is kind of angry looking. I don't love it. Poor Luna. You're just jealous, Luna. She so is. Not jealous, but she's ugh, this thing is gross. It is, though. It's dumb. Oh, here it goes. Midnight, sapping energy. It's sort of putting this glow across the whole room. It looks to me like when you leave the TV on at night, the way the light is flickering and Luna's sort of peeking up over the bed. It's so cute. Oh, Serena's parents also got a clock from the store. It's doing it to them, too. Amy came to pick up Serena, and her mom is, wringing her hands and stuff, and she's all antsy. Serena's dad just ran out the door with toast in his mouth, all oh, I'm late, I gotta go. I'm remembering already the theme to this one is that the clocks make everybody feel like they don't have enough time to get anything done. So everyone's rushing around and irritated and angry and blah, 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 and all that stuff. And drawing parallels to that as an adult, I have had friends who got hooked on certain things, I will say, in the past. And this behavior that the clocks are making people exhibit is very similar to that type of behavior. So I just think that's a little bit of an interesting, like, okay. Because everyone is, like, super mad. Everything's pissing them off. They don't have time for anything because they're too focused on what they're trying to get done or whatever. I think you guys know what I mean. Well, who's got time for boyfriends anymore? Amy doesn't have the... Of course, Amy's the sober one. What's going on? Everyone's moving so... I feel like her. Why is everyone moving so damn fast? Luna's running around with the evil clock tied to her. Okay, question. How did she tie it to herself? Plot hole. Oh, Luna's giving Amy her computer. It's even got the sign of Mercury on it. It's so cute. And I know it's essentially like... We're getting close to having the abilities of the Mercury computer in our cell phones. One might assume that, oh, it's just a little laptop. She can point it at anything and analyze it. And we're almost there, where you can take pictures of things and it'll tell you what it is. But it has to, like, this will analyze stuff that humans don't not comprehend yet. You know what I'm saying? And so far we don't have something like that, I don't think. So we're close, but Mercury is still winning when it comes to technology. Love that this many years later. Oh, there's a huge traffic jam pile up. All these people got into crashes and are running around with, like, oh, I have a little cut on my finger. Oh my god. Like, freaking out. This is how they're getting all the energy from them. I never really realized how... When it came to, like, storyboarding this season, or I guess the way that they put together how the enemies worked and stuff, it was very much, like, just a commentary on culture and the things that people do that waste their energy largely. I think that's kind of... Maybe I'm being too, like, hippie stoner deep about it, but that's kind of why we're here, right? Like, we are not here to be surface level. You came here for some serious digging into the Sailor Moon world, so that's what we're gonna do, goddammit. Serena's running in place on this bus. The bus driver's all pissed off. Uh-oh. The bus is freaking out, driving backwards in traffic. That's horrifying. I love the background music they're using for this part. For reference, it's the one we put at the end of the first 2 episodes of Moonstar that we transform at the end with, in case you want to hear it. I might play that outro again today for anyone who's new to the show. Amy and Luna, what a great duo. Serena's screaming at the bus driver, I'm gonna report you. I love this duo. Serena and Amy together when it's just them. I think, yeah, there's only 2 episodes that are like that before we get Sailor Mars. I love how much more there's strategy to it, there's story to it, because there's less, I guess, filler content in it, and they had to, like, I don't know, this is the character building stuff that I think a lot of people find is missing from the first part of Sailor Moon Crystal, where while it stayed more true to the manga series, which is true, it does, because it was done so concisely, there was, like, no time to really develop any of the characters. So when they do actually die at the end of season 1, I love these characters so much in any iteration, but, like, I barely gave a crap, you know? Because, I don't know, it was just, there was not much there. It felt very, it just felt not the same. And it's not even a nostalgia thing, because I've heard that echoed a lot in the fandom, and I also know that Sailor Moon Crystal later gets much better, you know, and there are other iterations, like the live action version of Sailor Moon is great. So there was something really off with the beginning of Crystal. That's all we're going to talk about that, though. They're charging in together. Moon Tiara magic just to blow the door up. See, I love this stuff when they, like, interact with the world around them and everything. That's something that this show does a great job of overall, actually. Like, taking note of their surroundings. Oh, Luna got locked out. They got to do it without her. She's got lines on her face from smacking it into the... It's a, one of those, like, if you think about a storage unit door that pulls down kind of like a garage door, it's one of those. Sailor Mercury's hair in the first, like, pose she did for introducing herself looked kind of like the classic 90s bowl cut. And if you want to see a really great version of that, check out Pen 15. You'll see exactly what I mean. It was very that. I love this Yoma. I think she's one of the more cool ones. She's kind of like Sailor Pluto as a monster, to be honest. She controls time freely in a way that Pluto can't. But her limitations are that it's limited to her space, it seems like, and her dimension. So she has to get people to come into her zone in order for her powers to work. Whereas Sailor Pluto has the ability to use her powers anywhere. All the melting clocks. Ugh. We get to see Mercury's VR visor. She's checking out what's going on in the dimension. All the melting clocks. It's like Salvador Dali mixed with the Negaverse, mixed with the 90s. And that's kind of a beautiful combination. This episode's aesthetic is one of my favorites. Hey, where'd you get that? I love Serena. And then she's like, I'm going to look around while you mess with that computer. That's boring. Oh yeah, Serena gets turned little. We get to see her as a kid for the first time in this episode. It's so adorable. And then Sailor Mercury standing next to her like, this is so embarrassing. Also, their side-by-side there really emphasizes that Amy's shorter than Serena. It looks by a good couple of inches. The old lady Sailor Moon never fails to get me. It's so funny. Oh, we get to see Tuxedo Mask creep in. He doesn't just appear out of nowhere this time. We see him have to find him. Or see him have to find them. Targeting suspect is what her computer just said. Hold on. I want to tell you what it said. It went too fast. Beauty of VCRs. Hold on. Tracking suspect. Ooh. It says something. It said tracking suspect. Oh my gosh, why won't it pause? See, I said the beauty of VCRs and now it's fighting me just to prove me wrong. What a bitch. Don't be a bitch. Well, this VCR is not quite as responsive as I would like, but it said tracking suspect J.S. Smith or something like that, and then there was a list of things. Which is what I want. Ugh, I'm going to put it in the... Forget it. I'm going to put it in the thumbnail. I might insert what it says later here. Mercury's mini computer says... Targeting suspect, J. Smith. 1. Serve the public trust. 2. Protect the innocent. 3. Uphold the law. And then there's a little dash after law. That way, let's stick together. Oh, to describe the way the Yoma looks, I forgot to do that. She has completely white, it looks like clown white makeup on almost, white skin. Then she has a star on her right cheek, sorry. She's got 2 scars that come down underneath her eyes, pointy elf-like ears, long, dark hair, and a red dress. And then she's holding a staff that I think is a spear also. Yeah, it's like a time spear. She can do a freeze beam with one of her hands. I think it freezes them in time. She's really strong. Did she just say, which of you will be lucky enough to get sucked first? Ma'am. Oh, Tuxedo hit the clock. She's all frozen and can't move. Mercury bubbles. I love when she uses these. She can't find them now. Mercury guides her aim because Serena can't see her. So she's like, aim for her eyes. They're right there. The 2 glittering dots. And then we get a full-on Moon Tiara magic. The full animation. Sometimes they chop this one in half. Moon dusted. It's funny, but one of my favorite after effects after Sailor Moon destroys the monster is the original tiara moon dust effect. There's just something really satisfying about it. I don't know. Serena, I might even give up shopping. Okay. Hey, Molly. Molly, let's go shopping. Okay. Oh. Serena is Serena. Well, that's why they love her, though. That's why we love her. Love this episode. This Sailor Says is all about how rushing is usually when you make mistakes, and when you rush through stuff, it doesn't usually turn out as good. And that's precisely why we didn't rush to get this podcast out on Monday, because we could have technically stayed up super late, recorded it, got it done, but we would have been in a terrible mood trying to record it, and we wouldn't have come up with all of the different things we wanted to include on the announcements today. I wouldn't have included the fun little thing I have at the end. You know, just like, because we decided to say, hey, it's not the end of the world for it to come out a couple of days late once, then we were able to plan it better and put forth a better quality episode than if we had just gone, oh, we have to stick to the deadline. It's the most important thing. Time is the most, you know? And I think it's so again, we get a lot of this sort of serendipitous moments like this on Moonstar where things just match up in a funny way. And I mean, anyone who knows me personally knows that's sort of the story of my life. I don't know what it is, but coincidences and strange matching is kind of my thing. It just happens all the time to me. So yeah, it is funny, but I think some of the lessons, or the biggest lesson, which is what they basically wrapped up in Sailor Says on this episode, is that time is important, and I don't want to minimize that because I am someone who doesn't have children, which means my view on time is going to be different from a parent's view. You know what I'm saying? I'm someone who is an educator and also does this type of work. So my schedule is going to look different and my experience is going to look different from someone who, if you're a doctor or a lawyer or something of that nature, you have to pay more attention to time. Although as an educator, I have to as well. But I don't know. I still have a little bit of freedom with my schedule because of the way that what I do. So, however, if you are creative, or even if you're not creative, if you are at work, and let's say you work an office job, and you have a project or a report that needs to be put in by a certain day, and you want to get it done before the weekend so you can go out and have a good time. Are you going to really just rush and cram it in before your weekend gets there? And then you're going to have to either make corrections or you're going to get reprimanded for it not being good. You know what I'm saying? It's just put in a couple of extra minutes here and there, an extra 30 minutes, an extra hour even, an extra day, whatever it takes, and do it once. You know, slow down enough so you're not having to repeat things a million times. God forbid, I know it's going to happen eventually, but We haven't had to double record an episode yet. However, let's say we are rushing around and something happens and we don't notice that our mic is not picking up audio. Because I have had that happen at the start of a couple episodes and then I caught it right away and fixed it. Imagine we had to record the whole thing because we weren't paying attention twice. The second time is going to be relatively inauthentic unless I share the mistake with you, which is probably what I would do because I prefer to be authentic all the time here. And it just, I don't know. You get it. We all get it. I'm like going in circles about something we don't need to talk much more about. Other than that, though, I really love the Mercury Moon team up of getting to see Sailor Mercury having to figure everything out while Sailor Moon is kind of running around with a chicken with her head cut off, being all like, oh, I don't have time for that. I'm just going to go this way. And then you see her, she runs into a trap. And this is why we need Mercury there to help her. Hey, wait, you need to pull back, think about what we're doing. Strategy is good, So as much as action is good, strategy and action combined are perfect. So yeah. Anyway, that's our watch through today. We're going to wrap up that segment here. And then let's get into... We've got 2 final segments to get through today. The first one we just couldn't help but share with you because it was so funny when we were looking for some fun Sailor Moon things to share today. And just Googling Sailor Moon, it shows you the most popular search question. And the number 1 search question about Sailor Moon is Sailor Moon a white girl? Is she, though? Let's see what the answer is. According to Google, it says, living on the moon. If you met her on the street, you might think she is Caucasian. But then again, you never will meet this fictional character on the street. Anyway, according to the storyline, she comes from an ancient civilization that lived on the moon. So, I love this answer because it's basically like, she does look white, but she is not real. Also, she lived on the moon. Like, it was such a not answer. I don't know. And also the fact that that is the number 1 searched answer cracks me up. And then, okay, so in theme with today's episode, we are not always going to do this, but every now and then we will drop in with a time traveling segment where we take a look back and just get to remember the context a little bit of when these episodes were being released. So we're going to do that right now. Time traveling first segment from the episode TimeBomb. It's Wednesday, September 7th. The year is 1995. The 6th episode of the English version of Sailor Moon, TimeBomb, airs for the first time in North America. The top songs are Gangsta's Paradise by Coolio featuring LV, and You Are Not Alone by Michael Jackson. Waterfalls by TLC just won Video of the Year at the 1995 MTV Video Music Awards, which you probably discussed with your friends named Michael, Ashley, Matthew, Emily, Christopher, and Samantha. Mortal Kombat is the movie to see. Meanwhile, a global system called the Internet is starting to take off. Every day, more and more people are beginning to connect to the World Wide Web using dial-up modems to connect their IBM computers. Grunge clothing has become less popular now, and more form-fitting clothes are beginning to appear in the wake of movies like Clueless and The Craft. We listen to music on CDs rather than cassette tapes, and most people do this on a portable device, such as a Discman or a Walkman. Other popular shows of the time for kids include Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Home Improvement, Barney and Friends, and Weird Science. You might also find yourself outside playing with a Super Soaker or one of your Sky Dancers. Remember, the year is 1995, and it is Wednesday, September 7th. I don't know why I had to deliver it like that, but it's meant to be, I guess, sort of a kooky, almost like old-fashioned news delivery. I want you to feel like you're actually hearing about that day in that time so you can take yourself back there just for a minute, just for some fun. So I hope you guys enjoyed that little way of closing out the podcast today. And let's see, is there anything else we need to cover? I think that's it. Yeah, we're gonna hit the outro. We just want to thank you again for listening to Moonstar, a Sailor Moon podcast. Starting this podcast has done nothing but good things for us, and we could not be happier with how it's going. So we hope you'll stick around for the ride, and forgive us for being just a little bit late this week, but we will be seeing you very soon. So yeah, that's it. Peace. If you liked what you heard today on Moonstar, a Sailor Moon podcast, you can support us in the following ways.
Leave Moonstar a 5-star review, wherever you listen. Subscribe to the Sunshine Farm Entertainment channel, and be sure to like any videos you watch. Do it for the algorithm. Go to our website, www.sunshinefarmcollectibles.com. Either show your support by making a purchase from the store, or navigate to the Moonstar podcast page and click the donation button. Even $1 lets us know we are making content that you enjoy. Follow other Sunshine Farm Entertainment projects, such as podcasts including Put a Cherry on It, The Magic Skill Bus, Cute Card, a Card Captor podcast, and SMAS the series. YouTube series including vintage anime unboxing videos, 90s anime video vaults, retro gaming content, and more. If that's not enough, treat yourself with kindness and remember, you can always transform.